it is my absolute pleasure to introduce live in the studio, Hot Machine! Hi guys! Hey. So this is so exciting to have you all here as a group, and extra special because tonight you're opening for the Southern River Band in the back room at Annalee. So first Brisbane show and then Vinnie's Dive Bar in Southport tomorrow, Arvo. So how does it feel to finally perform in front of your Queensland fans?
Give it away, Sarsha.
Come on.
Amazing. I'm originally from Queensland, so yeah, it's the first time we've come here and I'm so excited.
So excited.
It's just like a big reunion and yeah, it's going to be great. Well, the girls also love Queensland, so everyone's excited.
So, Sarsha, like you just said, obviously this is you coming home. You're my little sis, so this is extra special for me and to see you guys develop over the past year. Casting your mind back to a couple of years ago, if that, we were living together and we were jamming together and we're like, man, an all-girl rock band, that'd be sick. And then you came into my room and I bawled my eyes out because you said, I'm going to go to Melbourne. I'm going to do music. And I just couldn't believe it. But within like 3-4 months, you met the 4 girls sitting around you now. And it was almost like immediately that you guys took off. Like you sounded so tight. You had this amazing image as well. How did that happen so quickly?
I met Sammy quite quickly actually, moving to Melbourne, and then we were jamming for a little while together, and then we just got more and more inspired as we were jamming together, and we felt more of a magic, especially when she started singing because she was on bass, I was on drums, and we kind of just swap seed. And then it got even more passionate, and then we're like, let's really do this. And then Britt walked into my work at a record store, and I sell bass guitars, and I don't know, already like I got a vibe from her when she walked in, and then she went to the bass guitars. I was like, oh my god, she plays bass. And I was like, hey, how are you?
She was hitting on me.
I really hit on her. I really
Britt,
did.
do you remember that day?
Yeah, it was the best. It was so spontaneous because I'd walk past that store like every day for about 2 years, and then I just randomly on Christmas Eve decided to go in.
Unreal.
And it was really the time we were looking for a bass player. We were, we were really searching. And yeah, it was probably like a week later she walked in. She wasn't in a band, and she was at the stage where she was just ready. It was amazing.
For sure. And you guys are just like all pros on your instruments. Like the fact that you guys weren't all wrapped up in other bands and actually had the time to do this blows my mind. Especially with you.
Mayo.
Yeah, well, actually, I'm sorry.
Mayo's got a full-time schedule.
We'll get to Mayo in a minute.
Mayo's stressed.
We'll get to Mayo.
Mayo's stressed.
How is Mayo here right now with the time? No, we'll get to Mayo in a sec with JT. Were you next? How? Or was it Mayo next?
No, it was Mayo.
Mayo. Okay, so let's go to Mayo then. So yes, I did put my foot in my mouth because you're one of the busiest ladies I know. You are so multi-talented, but you're the drummer for this band. So how did you manage to squeeze in Hot Machine?
Yeah, well, just to give you some context, I'm in another band as well called Ramona Sky.
Shout out Ramona Sky.
Oh, they'll love that. But yeah, I've been in that band for about 3 years, and last year when Hot Machine started, Sarsha slid into my DMs on Instagram.
You're just
Sarsha.
just hitting on everyone. That's how this band worked out.
Gotta get in there.
But I didn't know who Sarsha was, like never heard of her. Obviously she's from another state as well, so I thought, oh, who is this amazing girl that's just popped into my DMs? And yeah, she and so
when I messaged you were honest. You're like, to be honest, I shouldn't be in another
That's
band.
right. That's what I was. Yeah. So Sarsha messaged me asking if I was interested in jamming with their band, and I'm not to toot my own horn, but I do get these messages a lot. Like, to like,
Of course.
like because there's not many drummers around, and I always have to say no because I'm so busy with Ramona. But this message stood out to me because it's something that really, like, I've always wanted to be in an all-girl rock band, and I couldn't believe, like, it's like the stars aligned, and I was like, I have to make this work somehow or another. So that's why I gave it a go, and yeah.
The time that freaked me out the most was JT. Yeah, because Sarsha would always ring me from Melbourne and say, Dad, and I remember you were talking about lead. And I said, you could do it. And the reason I was saying was...
no, I can't.
The reason I was saying is that somebody like JT I thought was a needle in a haystack.
It was. Yeah, it was.
Right.
Yeah.
What inspired you to be... This day and age where a lot of young women don't want to do guitar, right? They don't want to play lead.
I went to an all-girls Catholic school, and I hated it. And the only way to get through school was to either throw myself into music or to drop out. And I wasn't allowed to drop out, so I had to throw myself into music.
Wow.
And I grew up with AC/DC and Led Zeppelin on the radio all day with Dad. And that was it. I knew I had to be a guitarist in a band. Had to. And I didn't force it. It just happened very organically, but I knew it was going to happen.
Because at that point in time, you weren't wrapped up with another band.
No, I actually took a little bit of a break from music, and then I got a call from Maio, and that's how it all happened.
Because you guys went to school together.
Yeah, and we used to play in bands at school together.
Yeah, when we were like 15.
That's magic.
Such
That's
a strange story.
Unbelievable.
And you remember when you rang me? It wasn't even long after we had a chat, and I was going, "You're not going to find anyone, man. You need to do lead yourself." Remember?
Yeah.
And then you rang me up, and you go, "Oh, I think I found somebody," and I was going, "No,
Mayo's
no,
like,
you haven't."
Mayo's like, I know this really cool chick, and she's not in a band. She plays really well. She'd always become first in school with lead, and she loves rock and roll. And we're like, yeah,
She's a fucking unicorn.
and that's what we got though. Even the way we dress, we're like, are you keen with like dressing? You know, like we love leather, and you know, she's like, fuck yeah.
And I want to talk about the aesthetic just really quickly. Britt, you were in bands prior to this, right? Like from a young age, you've always been playing.
Young.
Did you always want to do rock and roll?
Always, yeah. Like I started playing when I was like 10 or 11, so it was always something I wanted to pursue, but took a different career track for a while. But it was always something I knew I needed to do.
And you were free. Like, again, you were just free as a bird.
I hadn't played in bands for probably 10 years. So,
And I'm really bringing this home because when people see you live, it will absolutely shock them. Back to Sammy, prior to this, like, you weren't singing.
No.
Yeah, weird.
It's so bizarre to me how comfortably you fit in. It's not just how you sound, but your stage presence as well is like you've nailed it. Well, how did that happen?
Good question. I don't know. I think I think just before, even now to this day, before I even get on stage, I'm like, oh my god, what am I doing? Deep breath. And then as soon as I'm on stage, I think that's the coolest thing is the connection we have on stage is that like I feel so comfortable with the girls and we all vibe each other and like connect in some way, all of us. And I think that's probably that's how I've gotten up there because these girls make it so easy.
Oh, that's very sweet.
Love you.
And
Group hug.
you're about to launch your first EP titled Leather and Steel in Melbourne. Congrats on that. Now, what was the inspo for these tracks? Because they're obviously very fiery, racy. Bad Hand is your latest single. What's the inspo?
Bad Hand's kind of like a revenge track. It's kind of like all about empowerment. It's about like games people play, especially in the pursuit of love. So it's a little bit of it's a powerful track to play on stage and play live. So it feels really like, I don't know, real gutsy. Yeah.
And
fun.
did you write it on your bass? Because it has one of the best bass lines I think I've ever heard. I love it.
I actually didn't. I actually wrote it on guitar and then somehow worked out the bass.
So, in terms of lyrics, songwriting, and obviously the EP, so do you guys share in that collaboration of writing music? Or is there someone predominantly, or...?
I mean, some people bring a whole song to the table. Yeah. And then Red Hot Summer was collab.
Nice.
What else is on there?
Yeah. A lot of the time, one person will bring an almost finished full idea and then everyone writes their own parts for it, like the main way I guess that we would write.
And I think the power in that is that you guys all add your own flavour really organically and you can sense that in the song. And after the EP launch, off to Japan.
Hell yeah.
Woo! Wow, what are you guys getting up to over there?
I was just going to drink a bunch and buy a guitar.
And in between that, you have a little festival. You've got...
we've got some gigs.
So, what's the festival called?
Shimane Jet Fest. So that's Guitar Wolf presents it. So pretty much their festival goes for 2 days and we're playing both days. Yeah. But we're finishing the tour doing that. So the first 3 days we're opening for the D4, which is a sick New Zealand band in Kobe, Shinjuku, and Osaka.
Unreal. And back quickly to the aesthetic of you guys. The leather, the bold reds, the mesh. It's so saucy and fun. And that translates, what's so impressive, online as well. You guys have such an amazing brand. And this was literally like from day one. What was the process of that? Did you guys have a vision when you guys all met that you wanted it to look that way?
Yeah. So I think it was just hot and racy is what we're going for. Yeah. And I think red and black and leather, just immediately think, oh.
Yeah, I think looking at the Runaways for inspiration as
Big
well, looking at
inspo.
old photos and thinking, like we love that look. We want to portray that in our own way.
Like
Drone jet.
80s motorbike girl
Yeah.
gangs.
Girl
But
gang.
weirdly, it
Yeah.
comes so naturally because we sometimes we don't even coordinate and we rock up Twiggy like, this works.
It's like we have a certain code and we just know.
Yeah.
So you've got a massive couple of months ahead, but if you think big picture, what's the goal for Hot Machine? Do you have any big bucket list events, maybe big bands you'd want to open for and then tour the world?
We'd love to open for
AC/DC.
Yes.
Calling ACDC.
We're
I think
available.
this will be their last tour though, so.
Yeah.
Well,
Let-
we'll be on it.
They better hurry up when they hear
I think
this.
as well, like jumping on some festivals would be.
Yeah.
Any dream festivals?
My dream is definitely just to play in America. That's always, I love America.
Europe as well.
And
Glastonbury,
huge like desert festivals in America.
Yes.
Yeah, Glastonbury as well.
Yeah, Glastonbury.
America's definitely my dream.
And the new EP is called
Leather and Steel.
Leather and
So
Steel.
cool.
Make sure you check it out, the big launch down in Melbourne, and follow Hot Machine on Facebook and Instagram. Details are in there. Bio, that is Sammy, Britt, Maio, JT and Sarsha from Hot Machine, all the way from Melbourne. Thank you so much, girls. Keep killing it.
Thanks.
Thank you.
I'm the queen of hearts, you're the ace of spades. Black and white, baby, but we're playing in gray. Cards are on the table and you have a price to pay. Now the roulette spinning left me all on red. Turn my black heart all on its head. I was all in on you, now you're running scared. If we just take it all